Peace. This is a meat potato sorcery production starring myself, the Water Alchemist. And today's topic for the occult family is: will spirits withhold information from you? Well, to be totally forthcoming, yes, they will. But you play a part on why they withhold that information. So let's go over this and unpack this very quickly. Now, I remember when I really was starting to become more proficient with divination as it pertains to pendulum divination or dozing. What had happened was I asked like a couple of questions, and one of them had pertained to godhood or becoming a god. I actually got it right. But because I wasn't spiritually mature enough, I didn't know how to accept, let alone absorb that answer. So I did the same thing just recently. And I remember having a conversation with King Bell, and he communicated to me basically like this: it's up to you to find that information out. You were on the right track, but it's like pieces to a puzzle. It's up to you. You can't always count on a spirit to give you everything when it pertains to gnosis. So this is very important, to always be the middle path practitioner. What I mean is you don't be low in confidence, but you don't become so egomaniacal either. You don't be that either. So you have to have an even keel when you're doing divination as well as practicing the occult. And I've seen this a lot in Harlem. Take it from me. A lot of people think because they're not physically at the mosque doing salat, or they're not at the Christian church, that they're totally removed from that. Well, what I practice is Egyptian spirituality. Yeah, maybe you do, but what's your approach to it? Your approach is being a slave. That's your approach. So you think because you ain't kicking over banisters and you not there with Reverend Porkchop that, nah, you still lost in the sauce. Let me give you an example. So when you do offerings, you're supposed to do this when you're coming from a place of sincerity. You don't have to do it every day, every weekend. But a lot of people in Harlem do it. Well, I'm gonna give this to Anubis. I'm gonna give this to Bastet. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So what ends up happening is that you're basically a Catholic, but you got an ankh on. That's it. Or if you practice the religion of Ifa or Santeria, you a slave, you just got legays on. I remember this one story that this Haitian Bokor told, and he was from Camden, which anyone familiar with Camden, that's like the most depressing city in Jersey. But I digress. But he said that this Bokor had become so dependent on the Lord, he didn't even see the wolves forming around him. So some Christians got a hold of him with their machetes and took him out. And he had never did anything to violate the law or anything, but he was left to his own devices. Don't get so spiritual that you ignore certain physical realities. Don't do that. You're still here, because the Hindus got this: when a god falls, or an angel has to do something here, or even a demon, the greatest limitation you will have is the human body. So what do you have to do? You have to work with your spirituality, but you also cannot ignore the intellect. The intellect is very, very powerful. I remember in a comic book where Doctor Doom outsmarted Odin and Mephisto, whose other name is Mephistopheles. And anyone familiar with Odin know that Odin can he can put you through some tricks. That's why Fred kind of like okay, oh, you're doing a little bit too much. So that's the lesson that you got to learn, is that they will withhold information because, one, either you're not ready for it, or two, they see that you're still coming from a place of religiosity. And that within itself is incredibly dangerous, because when things don't go the way you think they should do or go, you go right back to the very thing initially you ran away from. I've seen too many cases of it. So that's something that I had to learn, because here it comes down to this. This is the gist of this video. Spirits even angels, gods and goddesses, the one thing that they want, I'm starting out with one, respect. Two, appreciation. What runs them away? Fear, apathy, lack of self-confidence, and lack of awareness. That will run them away. I remember one individual, he had did some ceremonial magic and Raziel came. He said, "Oh, Raziel, I'm not worthy." And she left. You said you're not worthy. She didn't say it. So that is something I want people to take away from this video. So with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.